all dead. Monoxide poisoning.
In Colorado, the close race between Republican Congresswoman Lauren Boebert and her Democratic challenger is leading to speculation there will. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I don't like hearing it either, but what are you going to do?
Yeah. So, Joya, I was just so excited that Lucas asked if I could do this. And he sent me a picture of the run through last night, and it was absolutely adorable. And so I sent him from 1970 something. When I was I couldn't have lived without my high school drama. So I sent him our old script. Do you remember? Well, of course you're younger than I. The Samuel French,
of course,
logo. And
okay, stand by. Here we go.
96.9. Welcome to the Arts and Antique Radio Show, where your host, nationally recognized certified appraiser Elizabeth Stewart, Santa Barbara's treasure sleuth, will help you put a value on the treasures in your own home.
Every time it rains, pennies from heaven. Don't you know each cloud contains pennies from heaven?
So let's find out.
3,
how
2,
valuable is it?
You're live.
Hello, Santa Barbara. It's your chantress of everything valuable and beautiful, Elizabeth Stewart. And I have my favorite thing going on today, which is high school drama production. I love this. One of the students, Lucas, reached out to me and said, "Oh, Dr. Stewart, would you consider having some of our cast on?" And I said, "Absolutely." So I want to introduce you. I have Joya Marchese. I think I'm saying that right.
Close, Marchese.
Marchese.
Yeah.
Joya is the new drama teacher at Santa Barbara High, and we're going to talk about how cool that is. That's just so cool. And Lucas says she's just wonderful. So I have to say that. Tristan Bilodeau is here, who plays John Proctor in Yes, the Crucible.
All right.
Wow. Joya, that I got to give you a lot of a lot of like, oh my God, is it really the Crucible? I mean, because
I know.
Yeah. So and then Hattie Yojoret, I think I'm saying that right. Okay. She is Judge Danforth, and that's also an interesting casting.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to start the hour off. Tristan, say something to me, my dear.
How's it going?
There you go. And I wanted to hear that gorgeous voice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, and Tristan's a senior.
Yes.
And yes, Tristan's a senior. And let's see. I have some details on Tristan. He is, let's see, a senior. This is the first play he's been in. I'm shocked. With a face like that and a voice like that, the first play, how does that work?
Well, I just moved here recently from Seattle, up near Seattle, and where I came from, we didn't have a theater department. And so getting to come here to this amazing school and work with Miss G and get to be in an amazing play like this, it's gonna be amazing. So I'm super excited.
Well, I'm thinking you're gonna be having this in your future a lot with that. But you can't see him, dear listener, but he's beautiful.
Thank you.
Okay. He said this is the first play. He found his true home in theater. He wants to keep pursuing acting as long as the journey will allow him. Well, it will. I predict. And Hattie is also a senior. She's participated in theater since her freshman year. She's been involved in many other school community theater productions. Last year she was Sue Snelling in Carrie. Oh yeah, we covered that. Yeah. And the Wolves at Santa Barbara City College. Oh, you performed in that school.
Yeah, that was a special show.
That was a what?
A special show. It was a really fun opportunity.
And then, of course, we know the various productions of the Crucible. It's a challenging play. Really challenging. Okay, so now, Joya, I would like for you to introduce yourself. We haven't had the pleasure. Your predecessor was on the radio show a number of times. So tell us your background.
Well, I'm actually from Santa Barbara. I did go to Santa Barbara High School.
You did?
Long time ago. And between then and now, I mostly lived in New York and LA pursuing acting. I went to the neighborhood playhouse. And when I moved back to LA and I was kind of ready for a career change, my old mentor, Clark Sayer, over at Dos Pueblos High School, happened to ask me to come choreograph something. And I thought it would just be a one-time thing. And I just ended up really loving working with high school students. And it turned into like a 12-year partnership with Clark, choreographing all the musicals there and co-directing with him. And I actually had the opportunity to work with little Hattie when we did Tarzan. She was one of the baby gorillas. So we're coming full circle now, her senior year. And really, it's been so great to see her growth as an actress. She's just really come into her own. She's so mature, so professional. She's a really hard worker, and she's just doing a great job. And then Tristan was just a complete surprise, showed up on our doorstep, and it's this whole experience has been a whirlwind. You know, it's my first show at Santa Barbara High School, my first show with this group of students, getting to know them. And I did pick a very ambitious piece to start with, but the political implications just sort of washed over me this summer, and I really couldn't get it out of my mind. So I just decided to go for it.
Okay, so let me get this straight. So you were you were a student at Santa Barbara High.
I was.
You went to New York and pursued your career in the theater, and then you went to LA and pursued your career in the theater. And a friend of yours said, okay, Joya, you've got to come back just and help me out and do the choreography for a show.
Right.
And you got the bug that, you know, you really enjoyed working with high school age performers.
Yeah.
So I have to tell you, Joya, that is such a cool thing. So we had, you know, I was in high school in Illinois, and it was outside of Chicago, the suburbs, etc. You know, we had a hallway, and it was M Hall, and all the, you know, the performing arts were on it. It was M Hall. Used to be, music was there, theater was there, etc. So it was the M Hall. So we were the M Hallers, and there was like 15 of us, and we were, you know, from freshman year on, we were in all the, like I said, all these plays together.
Yeah.
And do you know something? So I just turned 60 some, and we still get together. Of course, it's on Zoom. So our core group still gets together.
Isn't that the way with theater?
It is. It is that core group. I mean, we're talking 45 years, and we've continually, you know, celebrated birthdays and births and marriages. We've been to, you know, if we can, we fly out to weddings, or that was a while ago. But my point is that,
yeah, that's what's always drawn me to theater, is really the community aspect of it. And not only with the cast and the crew, but the sharing of the experience with the live audience, and people over time will come back to see the shows over and over again. And I'm so excited to create that here at Santa Barbara High School. I know they have a very rich history here, and I will be taking the program in a different direction, but still with that same, you know, feeling of high expectations and training and building on the foundation that they have here. And I mean, one of my friends that I did theater with in high school was just here the other night doing costume stuff, and she's a fashion designer now, and she was just helping me out. And those people, they are like your friends for life.
I'm so glad you said that. And I'm going to just jump on something you said. You want to take the department into a new direction. And I'm sensing that with the selection of the Crucible as is one of your, but hey, Richard.
Yes, Elizabeth.
Okay, let's take a quick break. When we get back, I want to ask Joya the new direction, and then I wonder, is Joya, is it possible that Hattie and Tristan could is there something that they can do for us from the play? Could you think of something?
I'll think about that. Maybe there's a little section of the courtroom scene.
Yeah, or they could do some, it doesn't have to be interactive. They could do something separate that, that maybe we could beg of them to perform a little something.
We'll
yeah. So we're going to go to a commercial break, and then Joya, take a look and see what you can find for Tristan and Hattie. Dear listener, we're speaking to Santa Barbara High School Drama Department, their production of The Crucible. I have been following on my phone. Lucas has been sending me pictures of the run through, and it's remarkable. The colors, the design, the stage set, anyway, I can't say enough. And it's such an important thing that we've got this in our community. Anyway, Joya, find something for us as far as a little recitation, and we're going to go to quick break.
All right.
Don't turn that down.
All right, you're clear.
How do you guys feel about that? Doing something?
Good. What, just whatever section you think is good.
Yeah. You could do,
you could do a little Shakespeare,
from Brooklyn?
whatever,
Okay.
To be or not to be.
You like that?
I don't know. The only section I think you could do is like where you're talking about you're saying where Patty, this part.
So Richard,
now we
Yes.
shall touch the bottom.
So there's,
of the swamp.
this, brush up your Shakespeare, start quoting him now, brush up your Shakespeare, and the women you will wow.
I have
Taming of
never
the
heard that
Shrew.
before.
Just
Yeah,
that,
you didn't? Oh, go, you find it.
Tristan,
I'll have to look.
did we
You look like you're wearing prison attire there, Elizabeth.
start at
Yeah.
now we shall touch
And
the
those
bottom
stripes,
and and then to there. That's it.
So which page would you like to
I
start
think
from?
66, if you just go from the middle of the page, Hattie's line, now we shall touch the bottom of this swamp.
Okay.
You only have a couple lines there.
Yeah.
But that's the only little back and forth between the two of you without other characters. So I think just focus on, like, just take a minute and get into that zone, Tristan, where you're pleading your case, you're trying to stop this, and you don't have to do a lot, just try to stay true.
All right, here we go. Where are you, Elizabeth? In 3, 2, 1, you're live.
Welcome back. It's Elizabeth Stewart, and I am speaking with the performers in a play at Santa Barbara High School called The Crucible. Quite a challenging play. I'm speaking with the drama department head, Joya Marquesa. I think I got that right.
Yes.
Tristan Villadu is here, and Hetty Georgette, and they are the two main, well, we've got John Proctor and Judge Danforth, so they're kind of the big stars of the show. And Joya was telling me that she was going to move the department into a kind of a new direction, and the Crucible is a reflection of that direction. And she sees in the Crucible something that reflects our own current, maybe polarized is the right word, environment.
Absolutely. You know, Arthur Miller wrote this in the 50s as a response to the McCarthy hearings. And so he looked back at the witch trials, another time when this was happening, this finger pointing, and it just felt really relevant to me right now, whichever side of the political spectrum you're on, just this kind of need to point fingers, this real anger and upset, and rights being threatened. And the real core issue is how to maintain your integrity in the face of this public kind of scare tactics to get people to pick a side, you know, to hold on to what you believe is right. And that's what John Proctor's real, you know, what his journey is to hold on to his integrity.
So did the kids, well, not the kids, they're young adults.
Yeah.
Did the young adults, did they, for example, did they see Daniel Day-Lewis's performance in the film?
We did not watch it as a group.
I bet.
Because we're doing such a modern production. I didn't want that to influence their performance, but I think some of them did go and watch it. I definitely watched it for research and.
Right. So I saw by what Lucas was sending me the photos that you've got a very modernistic approach to that,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's not 17th century anything
It's
at
not,
all.
No.
No.
You won't be seeing any like head coverings or aprons or anything.
Right. And so now I want to ask you too, Joya, Judge Danforth, you know, is a female.
Mm-hmm.
And your production. Okay, so that's Hattie. Hattie's playing the judge. That's a bit of a departure. I don't know, would Arthur Miller have thought of that, do you think?
Well, it's when you do theater in high school, you have different constraints than when you do them on Broadway. And, you know, I always, part of the new direction I'm talking about is that my approach is just always student centered. It's who do we have and what are their skills and talents that they're bringing to the table. And we just have a lot more female talent in this program right now. And so that was just a necessity.
Well, yeah, I mean, heck, yeah. You know, we had, tell you, our M Holler group I was telling you guys about, that my old high school way back when. Do you know, it's interesting because I guess there's 15 of us. We all went into the arts in some way. And we all actually made a living, you know, independent living in the arts. It's remarkable.
It is.
So Hattie, I wonder, has Joya, Miss M, you call her?
Miss G.
Yes. Miss G, okay. Do we have something that you could recite for us, Hattie?
Ew.
Okay, why don't we do that? Richard, let's go to a quick break. When we get back from the break, we're going to have a little bit of a taste of the Crucible by our actors. Both are seniors at Santa Barbara High. I want to know where you're going after high school as well when we get back from the break. Exciting news. Okay, don't turn that down. Back in a minute with our young adult performers. They're going to go great places for sure. Don't turn that down.
You are good.
Santa Barbara Team Sports.
Okay. In depth.
Mhm.
Tristan, where are you at home?
Yeah, I
You're,
didn't
you're
know.
supposed to be at rehearsal.
Well,
What are you
I got
doing?
I got called in here. Lucas
You're
sent
in
me a text a
trouble.
couple of days ago, and he's like,
You're
"Yeah,
cut.
there's this thing. I'm cut. I'm gone. You're out of here." But yeah, it was last minute thing. He's like, "Can you come on the show?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure. It'll be fun." So,
So you're gonna come here after.
oh yeah, I didn't know that. I thought for some reason until last night I thought rehearsal was at 11. So I'm like, "Oh, I'll have
Oh,
time."
until
And
last
then it was
night, I
10.
thought there wasn't gonna be a rehearsal.
Oh. Oh yeah, I was expecting to come in around like 11 or whatever, and I'm like, yeah, it'll be fine. I'll have time. But
Are they working on lighting right now?
I hope so.
Yeah.
That's what's supposed to be happening. When I'm not out there, I don't
Yeah.
know. I should
Okay, so do you have, Joya, do you have a play that you're planning for after the Crucible?
We do. We are doing.
Oh no.
Yes, it's happening.
Yes. And you know, that was so interesting covering Carrie as well. That I was like, okay, are you sure?
I know. Well, the kids, I call them kids too. They're not really kids, but they're very, very excited. So
Rocky Horror, they're excited.
they're
One, you're live.
Welcome back. It's Elizabeth Stewart. I'm speaking with Hattie Yojoret, Tristan Bilodeau, and Joya Marqueza. Joya is the drama department head at Santa Barbara High, and Hattie and Tristan are performers in The Crucible, Arthur Miller's fantastic reaction to polarization and lack of individuality. We'll put it like that. And it's a challenging production. And Joya, would you like to direct your two performers and introduce what they're going to do?
yeah, so they're just going to do a really brief little interaction they have in the courtroom. Proctor's wife has been accused of witchcraft, and Judge Danforth is trying to assess whether this new evidence he's brought in is valid. Take it away.
Now we shall touch the bottom of this swamp. Your wife, you say, is an honest woman?
in her life, she have never lied. There are them that cannot sing and them that cannot weep. My wife cannot lie.
And when she put this girl out of your house, she put her out for your sin
I judge.
and knew of your sin?
She knew of it.
Good then. And if she tell me it were for lechery, may God spread his mercy on you. Turn your back. Turn your back. Now, let neither of you turn to face Goody Proctor. No one is to speak one word or raise a gesture. Enter.
Cut.
You're brilliant. Very good. Yeah, fantastic. So I always thought that was really interesting that there was that quote unquote infidelity that was kind of
Yeah.
at the heart. It's as very bold. You know, Arthur Miller, you guys know he had quite an interesting love life himself.
Mhm.
You know, so
That's
not to mention.
it's
Go ahead,
it's a
Joya.
different time, yeah, and there's a lot of a subject matter in the play that we've really tried to sort of, without changing the dialogue, just change the emphasis so that it's not about this young girl who has lured, this married man into an affair, because we just don't see things that way anymore. But some of the language just hit me, that Hattie says, we shall now drain this swamp, which is language that people are using in politics right now. And this was written in
Yeah.
the 50s.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, it's yeah,
There's
it's
so
it's
much time.
a little frightening, actually.
Yeah.
Well, so now we're having a teaser because Joya was saying she's got a play planned for next season. Guess what? It's Rocky Horror Picture Show, and that's going to be so interesting. Now, you have decided, Joya, to stage the Crucible in modernistic terms.
We have.
Now, Rocky Horror is kind of a set piece, is it not?
It
Okay.
is.
So what are you going to do with that?
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to veer too much from the original, but it's so over the top and campy that we're really going to go into that as much as possible and really try to create like a party feeling in the theater where it's very interactive. It's very much going to be about audience participation in a different way than when you go see the movie. But we're really going to just try to camp it up. After the Crucible, we're ready for a big celebration party kind of blowout. So that's what we're going to do.
Tristan, are you thinking that you might like to be in that play?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna be trying out for it. What I'm gonna try out for yet, I've got no idea, but it'll be fun.
Oh, now you moved here from Seattle, Tristan.
Yes.
Okay, and so what are you going to do now? This is your senior year. So you had the senior year in Santa Barbara, the 3 years previous was in Seattle, right?
Yes.
So are you planning on going to college, for example? Are you leaving California again? What are your future plans?
Well, right now my plans are to try to get into UCLA. That's kind of been my biggest dream so far, and definitely do the drama program through UCLA. And if I can't, then there's a community college, SBCC, around here where you get 2 free years of community college, which would be great. And then maybe I could transfer into a UC. So just see how it goes.
I see. So you will be staying in California. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Hattie, what about you? You're a senior as well.
Yes. I'm kind of the opposite. I'm really looking to go. I'm interested in the East Coast. I want to go try living somewhere new. I've been in California my whole life, so I'm ready for a little bit of a change.
And so are you applying to college? Are you thinking of going to the East Coast? Yeah.
Yes, I'm applying to some colleges on the East Coast. Like Tristan, I'm also looking to continue theater as much as I can. So yeah, it's kind of in the depths of applications right now, but looking forward to what's to come.
And do you mind what are the 2 dream schools for you? What would they be?
Oh my goodness. One of my dream schools is Duke University. And then I would say another one is Boston University. Those are 2 of the big ones I'm looking at right now.
So my son went to Duke, and I was at Tufts University in Boston. So,
You can
so I know BU is fantastic. Yeah. So
Hattie, in addition to being a musical theater actress, is also a scholar. Very intelligent woman right here.
Well, excellent. That's fantastic. And, I also wanted to, Joya, I want to ask you, I'm wondering what the role of drama is in high school today. I mean, in my day, it was kind of like a second thought. It wasn't considered a real scholarly pursuit yet. I was telling you that all 15 of us, that was our core interest, and we still ended up in the arts after 45 years. So it had to be something more than just a fun thing to perform in, and it was much more.
Yeah.
And I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about what it means to you
I have
to
so
teach.
much to say about this.
Good, good.
We're definitely in a transformative time, because for the first time ever in California, you actually can get a teaching credential in theater, which has never been available. And I actually have mine in English because it happened the year after I got my credential. But so it is becoming more legitimate in terms of how it's seen in the educational world, but it is still, performing arts are electives. And so they're seen a little bit below academic classes. But here at Santa Barbara High School, I have had so much support from our principal just immediately. I've been so welcomed and also just so supportive, and she's just really gone to great lengths to help me get started and to give me whatever support that I need. And she's really allowed me to have a lot of autonomy, which feels really great at this point in my life. And the other thing I would say is that COVID has really affected theater, because I feel like a huge part of my job right now is almost like teaching people how to be human again, and just be in close proximity to each other and learn again how to be intimate, because that's where theater was always such a great outlet for people. And now people are a little scared to be close to each other. And so I feel like now more than ever, everyone needs theater, because they just need to be reintroduced to that part of social emotional learning.
Let me tell you something that is brilliantly put. Because, you know, in my job, so I'm an appraiser, and I look at art, and I'm in people's houses and museums and insurance companies, and, you know, I'm looking at big collections and this sort of thing. I'm actually relying on the mask. It helps. I mean, it's like, well, okay, thank God I can put this on, because I don't have to actually express anything. And you know, it's just like a crutch.
Yeah.
Although it's useful. I mean, yes. But the thing is that there's more to it than that. And, you know, it's like one thinks of Dionysus, you know, one thinks of the masking in the early Greek theater and what that, you know, what that actually meant. You were part of the choir if you were masked.
Right.
So, hey, Richard, let's go to a quick break. I want to hear Tristan and Hattie's view on this. It's really cool that Miss G has brought up this idea that theater is an antidote to the isolation we felt or are still feeling because of the pandemic. I love that theater is antidote. I love it. Richard, let's still go to quick break, and then I want to get the young adults' opinion on that when we get back from the break. Don't turn that down. I'm speaking with Santa Barbara High School Theater Department, run at the moment by Miss G, who is bringing us the Crucible, Arthur Miller's incredible statement against oppression. Timely. Don't turn that down.
You're clear.
Okay, you guys talk now. I've been talking so much.
Yes.
I have so many opinions.
Good.
Oh my gosh. We're never gonna get to everything today.
I mean, I don't know what people's like. I'm happy to stay later if needed. I just don't know what other people.
I know. I think I'm gonna have to tell Miss Libera that I cannot come to the show tonight.
No,
I have to
you
go
need
to sleep.
Yeah.
I feel so bad, but
I think she'll understand.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I kind of like when I said each one of us 15, and we were M haulers, because one went into psychology, but that's a little bit of a performance art. So,
Well, I did my undergrad in psychology. I think it goes hand in hand, just observing and understanding human behavior is, what acting's all about.
and Joya, I just interviewed a bunch of people that were filmmakers and performers for the Ojai Film Festival. There was some pretty fantastic films. It was interesting because there was one, just between us, there was one director who thought that, oh gee, my lead actor quit on me, so I think I can act and direct myself. And it was so obvious I was, screening the film so that I could talk about the film on the air. And it was like, okay, are you watching yourself watch yourself, or what's going on? It was just not.
I don't know how people do that. That was actually my team and I, because this is definitely a collaboration, but we constantly. 3, 2, 1.
You're live.
Welcome back. It's Elizabeth Stewart. I'm speaking with Santa Barbara High Drama Department, their production of The Crucible. Joya Marqueza is here, she is the drama department head and a teacher that's brought The Crucible to the young adults. We have Tristan Viladu and Hetty Gigior. So Hetty, help me with your last name. Ugaret. Okay. So we were talking before the break that Miss G had brought up the fact that she thinks that drama should be mandatory for anyone who's lived through the pandemic. And I think I agree with her. And Tristan, what do you think about that thesis?
I think that, drama is a very useful tool, not just in just like if you want to become a performer, but in life. It teaches you how to connect with oneself, how to express yourself fully, reach places that you never thought possible. I mean, when I was working with Miss G, she's like pushed me to search myself when I'm saying like a certain line and I couldn't understand it, and it like helps you get into emotions that you never thought possible. And so I think that would be a very useful tool for everybody, and especially with connecting after COVID. It's been hard, you lose that connection, you lose that interaction with people, and I think it's a very important thing. And I think that everybody should be touched by drama and what it can do for you.
What was so interesting to me, Miss G, was that, of course, I'm talking late 70s, early 80s. This is way back in, the dark ages. What was so interesting was, we'd have the men, the young men in our group, and there was this idea that they were so cool because they could sing and dance and be in plays, and it was just really a fantastic experience, and I have to say that really changed their ideas, I think, about how they present themselves as males. It was a whole different world.
I really think we need to bring that back. I think there's definitely a stigma attached to theater in these days because I don't think as many people are exposed to live theater. And so, movies and social media are more how people see people, quote unquote, acting. And so people in theater are sort of, it's more of the it's like it's the place where a lot of the people come who kind of can't find a home anywhere else in school. I love that. I love those people. Those are my people for sure. Right. But I do think, there's a disconnect, like sports are cool and theater is like the oddball people. And I would love to see it, that idea change, because like Tristan was saying, I do think, and like you were saying, especially for men, for young men, I think it's an invaluable tool to really be grounded in your body, to be able to use your voice fully, to be able to look another person in the eye and not look away, and be able to be present with another human being and shake someone's hand. And I mean, these are just qualities that carry you through life. And I would like to see more men embrace those qualities. And
Well
so a
put.
lot of
Used
women.
used to
A lot of young
well
women.
put. Well put. Yeah, well put. You know, Richard, let's go to quick break, and then I wonder, Miss G, do you think you could ask the young adults, the young thespians here, and if they can actually do a little bit of their favorite recitation, maybe on it may not be a monologue, but is there something that they could actually enjoy speaking?
We'll see if they have anything like that.
Yeah, see if they want to do that.
Yeah,
And Richard, we're
okay.
going to go quick break and just reintroducing the Crucible at Santa Barbara High, a ambitious production. And I was seeing, Lucas was sending me pictures, and they're the sets are beautiful and modernistic and very, very interesting. The colors are fantastic. The lighting is fantastic. I'm thinking you do have a great team working with
an
you.
amazing team.
Yeah.
Jake Movitz, production designer, and Lee Allen, lighting designer from LA, and my co-director, Kira Lehman, a movement specialist, just bringing a whole new aspect to this show that no one's ever seen before.
So these are not students, these are professionals that you've brought in.
Professionals,
I
yeah.
see. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go to quick break. Don't turn that down. Back in a minute. Santa Barbara High's production of The Crucible.
And you're clear.
Happen to have a monologue?
I have a
How long?
monologue that I like.
You have an audition beat.
Yeah. But like I could do part of it because it's like 4 minutes. It's long, but I could do part of it.
Well, I think you should, because you haven't, been on a lot.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you do that. I'll just say I don't have
Do you
anything.
have something, Tristan?
It's long and it won't make sense if I try to cut it into pieces. So
Okay.
it'll be all right.
Okay.
Remember where I'm from, so I can say that.
I didn't realize this was Richard.
Yes.
How long is this show?
It's about 15 hours.
Great.
No, we've got about 5 minutes really all told.
Oh, okay, great.
And by the way, Elizabeth, you have done on this program a marvelous job of going to break. This is the last break, so you get to take this to the top of the hour. In other words, you've got plenty of time.
Well, I think one of the 15, so I'm just remembering, I lied. So there's 15 of us from our high school, and one of them is a shrink. The other one went on to be a big shot Washington trial attorney.
Oh, well, that's
and he
kind of
uses
performance.
that totally, and make more money than God, basically. But totally used the acting lessons. We had okay.
3, 2, 1, you're live.
Welcome back. It's Elizabeth Stewart. I'm speaking with my favorite people in the world. That's high school thespians about to jump into the professional world. And I'm speaking with their drama coach and drama teacher at Santa Barbara High, Goya Marqueza. And we're talking about the importance of, the performing arts and how it is a seminal thing in life. We wanted to ask Joya if she could direct us in a few little performances from the students,
Well,
if
Hattie,
they want.
yeah, Hattie has one of her audition pieces. She's gonna do a little excerpt from.
Yeah, it's a part of a monologue from a play called Pretty Theft by Adam Simkowicz, and the character is Allegra, and she is basically talking to her father who's in the hospital. So, yeah. And I'm working at this like group home with Susie Harris. We hang out a lot. Do you know who she is? I think you'd like her. She's a lot of fun. She was supposed to come here with me today, but she couldn't make it. Bobby's good. He's working at the garden place in Salem sometimes on the weekends. He wishes he could be here too. He's a good boyfriend. He think it's gonna last for us. One of the great things. But it is just as hard to talk to you now that you can't talk back. I can't ever say the right thing around you, can I? You're just so not there, aren't you? You always ignore me. I know even if you can hear me right now, you're not paying attention. You never. Why don't I matter to you? What do you want from me? There's the.
Bravo. Yeah, bravo. Yeah, I got that. That was very, yeah, that's, yeah. So my father passed away actually from COVID, but he was, he had dementia at that point. And I get what you're saying in that monologue. Totally. Hey, Tristan, do you have something for us?
I unfortunately don't have anything off the top of my head.
That's okay. That's okay. Didn't mean to put you on the spot.
Oh, no
So
problem.
yeah, so okay, so Joya, I'm just interested to know your background. So your life in theater.
I started out dancing in my childhood with Delilah Mosley at Montecito School of Ballet, and I mostly did dance most of my young life. And then I found theater around high school, outside of school, doing after school theater and summer stuff. And that I just completely switched. I mean, I still was dancing in musicals and stuff, but I just really found my people when I found theater, and it just never stopped. I continued to do theater. I moved to LA and was pursuing acting, and then I moved to New York with a friend, and I went to the neighborhood playhouse, and I quickly started directing and started a small theater company with another friend, and was always producing and directing. I was sort of never content to be waiting for someone to give me a part. That was very frustrating to me. Part of trying to break in and not knowing anyone and not having connections, it's really hard to break in. And then eventually I got a job with a dance theater company, and that became, I got to do it full time and not have another job and just do that. And it was just immensely satisfying. They created roles for me using, all the things I could do. I got to use dialects. I had costumes made for me. We did these epic versions of, Greek myths and, just really big stories where I got to play Aphrodite and the devil and, just.
And what was the name of that? What was
called company XIV in New York, and it has since completely shifted directions. But when I was in the company, it was like very theater and dance based. And then I just found my way to teaching, like I said earlier, and I just find it so fulfilling. And I think I was just ready to not be the person on the stage anymore, but I think, and I am uniquely qualified to do this job because I spent so much time doing it myself and directing and producing and doing all the different parts of it. And it's so satisfying to be at this moment now where I get to kind of use all the things that I did for so many years with this age group that I really resonate with and
Yeah,
love to be with.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. And Tristan, who do you admire in the theater? Do you have like I really enjoy the work of such and such an actor. Is there somebody that you would like to trade places with?
I mean, I've looked up to so many different actors. Growing up, I never had thought of doing, funny enough, performing arts in the theater and doing like stage work. I had always looked at movies. I had looked up to movies. I had seen all those actors there, and I loved Timothy Chalamet. He was one of my favorites. He just had that dark, kind of brooding vibe, and he did an amazing job of acting without even trying, and that's something I really strive for, is just being able to go out there and act and not have it look like acting, just be me. I guess that's my biggest thing.
I think that's I was mentioning to you, Tristan, that here I was looking at watching this film by the director who thought he could act, and that what you said was just such a hard thing, I think, because he could not be himself and act at the same time. It was just not going to happen, and it was really interesting. But I kept on thinking about my sister, who's a equity actress and has been in theater for years and years. She's kind of semi-retired now, but New York based, etc. So you just never knew what sister you were going to get. And so you come in the room and it'd be like, okay, now what sister am I going to get? And it was just the way she was. She just would she could pick up on an accent, she could pick up on a mannerism, and she would be so she wouldn't actually notice it. It would just kind of glue on to her. So I know what you're saying. It's like, okay, to be yourself, but to have yourself be the actor is kind of almost like a contradiction, because it's like I said, she was adhering personality to herself, like Velcro in many ways. And that's how she, how she acted and how she went through life.
It's if everybody could do it, then it wouldn't be nearly as hard as it is. So
right.
Yeah,
that's right. If everybody, that's right.
What,
well put.
It's what differentiates the top actors that get paid multi-million dollars compared to, the people who are just starting off. It's because they've put time into it and they've learned themselves truly. And that's going back to the theater, is understanding yourself and understanding your emotions. That's like the baseline, I believe. And that's where a lot of, actors get their starts, is on the theater, on the stage, and I think that's amazing, is to being able to learn yourself, learn who you are. And then once you do that, you can change yourself in different ways and become characters you never thought possible. So
well said. Wow. Joya, you must have these things happen every day where you're kind of all verklempt and choking up on something beautiful. A student said, yeah.
That's why I love this job. Yeah.
I can tell.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Richard, we got to go. Thank you, Tristan. Thank you, Hetty.
you.
Thank you, Joya. Thank you so much and
Thanks
I'll
for
see you at the
having us,
Crucible.
Elizabeth.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Bye.
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 Say hi to Lucas.
Okay, we will.
All right, you're clear.
All right. So
Thank
I'll send Lucas, I'll send this show to everybody that I have, and Lucas can distribute it and et cetera. And do you guys, are you too young, but do you have headshots anymore?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So can I have some headshots? I'd like all three of you. I know that Joya has.
I don't have headshots anymore. Mine are like so old.
Oh, well,
but-
it does. Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
have some
send me
from
what you have. It
July.
doesn't, huh, Kristen?
I have some recent ones from July. So
Okay, cool. So send me some pictures of yourself.
Okay.
Because we post them on, on the website, and I'll send you the show, and whatever you want to do with the show, you can. So if you want to, take clips, if you want to, put it on your platform, etc., feel free. It's
Right.
my deal with the station. Thank you, guys.
Thanks
thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Bye.
Great talking
Bye.
to you. Bye.
See you